W's and L's, the weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we do like and the L's to the things that we don't. I will go first. I'm going to go ahead and give a dub to a basketball player. I believe he plays for maybe a D-League team. Can't really remember. Goes by the name of Steve Hoyufat.
I'm sorry. Steve Hoyufat?
Steve Hoyufat.
That reminds me. Do you follow that boy on TikTok or YouTube or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
So he makes these football shorts, right? And he makes up names for the players that he's doing the skits in, like DeFiker the Whole Man or Keontre Lameatley.
Yikes. Yikes.
Latavius something is funny. The Fiker the Whole Man is fucking hilarious though. That shit is fucking because he's like a hotep quarterback.
Yikes.
Donovan Assmacky.
That's nuts. This, however, is not a fake name. It's a French professional basketball player by the name of Steve Hoyufat.
I'm sorry.
Spelled literally.
Why did they put the separations in there?
Because that's how you spell it.
It's not just one word.
No, that's his name. So shouts goes out to bro because his jersey sales are about to go through the roof.
Shout out to my last name, girl.
Yes, that guy is going places for sure, just based off of his last name. So shout out to bro.
Woo, that's hilarious.
It is. I am going to show you a crazy conversation had by Rick Ross and DJ Khaled.
Uh-oh.
Still not up on the almond
Oh, no, no, Ross.
Rose still frightened.
No, get the almond milk.
I just got up on 2% milk a couple years ago.
No, get the almond milk.
Now y'all trying to conspiracy.
No.
And it's the question. Is it from the almond of the walnut? Is they squeezing it out of the peanut?
I don't have that answer, and I usually have every answer.
What the fuck did I just watch?
DJ Khaled and Rick Ross having a conversation about almond milk.
Do they have a podcast?
I don't have that answer, and I usually have every answer.
God damn it. Get out of this space.
Look, man, I'm normally right with you. But if DJ Khaled and Rick Ross are having a podcast where they discussed just normal everyday things in the manner that they just did, I will be their number one fan. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Mans was so baffled by the concept of almond milk. I'm watching that every single time. Just throwing that out there.
Oogie.
Just throwing that out there. So definitely dub to Rick Ross and DJ Khaled. Despite probably needing to be an L because who the hell doesn't know what almond milk is?
It's definitely not a walnut or a peanut.
All right, on to my L's. Margot Robbie had a quote. I figured this was probably okay. Yeah. Because I found out from you retweeting it.
Okay,
but,
cool.
Whatever. Margot Robbie had a quote about Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, basically stating that she was excited about the fact that, well, it's great that we can continue on the legacy of said characters.
You mean she didn't send her fans on a hate campaign for the new actress playing in her role?
No, she thinks that it's great to recast characters to continue said legacy.
You know what this signal to me? Not only do white people completely understand where we're coming from when we're talking about Recast T'Challa, they completely understand it. They don't need to be force-fed or spoon-fed a very soft and gentle message that makes them feel warm inside. They completely grasp the concept of what it is you're asking for. And then on top of that, the writer writing up the piece doesn't have to write it in a salacious way that lets the studio off the hook.
Yeah.
Instead of fans are demanding that male Black Panther be back in franchise, don't want Shuri. You get Oh, legacy character gets played by another Hollywood starlet. An old Hollywood starlet loves it. Everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm. It's so simple.
Look at the juxtaposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the difference.
Literally, white women don't have to worry about, oh, they're going to get so much backlash.
There isn't
from
a
the
single
next character.
person. Oh my God. Oh my God. I want to ask one of those, oh my God, you're going to be so mean to the new actor people. Did you say that to Lady Gaga? Have you hopped in her messages lately and given her some of your hate for the fact that she's playing another character that's already been established and is popular to a somewhat degree?
Nope.
Did you see a mass hate campaign going against Margot Robbie? Hell, did you see a mass campaign going against Nia Rivera's character on Step Up on Stars? Because she's been replaced by...
I saw that. I can't remember.
Fucking Love Don't Cost a Thing, Nick Cannon. Christina Milian. There we go. Christina Milian replaced Nia Rivera, who met a untimely end, rest her soul, a couple years ago. Has been replaced on the show. And I have not seen an internet hate campaign against the character. Interesting. It's almost as if somebody pulled that out of their ass, having no prior evidence that was ever going to happen. Crazy, right? Not only do people understand the situation totally, and they're totally fine with it, you can even write about it in an unantagonistic way.
Crazy how people can play stupid like that.
Amazing. Jesse Lee Peterson style.
Yeah, no. It's great that, Harley Quinn gets to see another actress play her role, but, we can't get it to T'Challa, so just forget about it. Just what do they always say?
Forget about it.
What do they always say? Literally every time you say something, just get over it. Just get over it. They've already made the decision. Just get over it. So let me just go into another L that I wasn't expecting to get into right away, but let's just get into it. Apparently, Ryan Coogler at one point thought about just leaving. Just thought about not doing Black Panther 2 early on when probably they were rewriting scripts a lot, 6-7 times.
And all the other drama that was going on with that production.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, I don't even think he should have been brought to that point because they should have just delayed Black Panther 2.
Sure.
At the end of the day. I mean, it's I'm giving it an L, but at the end of the day, he is warranted for feeling that way because of all of the drama.
It is the most ignored part of this situation. Well, other than the fact that the man's family is being
forced to
kind of pushed to the background as we elevate his co-workers and co-stars as his de facto Disney family.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's been ignored is the crassness in which Disney made this decision. Everything has been like when they communicate to us, they talk about how unprepared and how unready they were to do what it is they needed to do to make a film. Recasting crowd did not make that happen. The MCU general fandom did not make that happen. No one was rushing Marvel Studios into the VFX room to make this movie in wake of Chadwick Boseman's passing. No one, not
they
a
would have
single
received no
person.
backlash for delaying.
The only people who forced this train forward is Disney and Marvel. They made a decision to move on with this character. They made a decision to move on with production. They made the decision to force these actors back to work to do this work. They did.
Everyone would have understood if you would have
Not the people who want to see the character recast. So if you have such feelings about them having to do this, maybe turn a critical eye to the people who forced them to do it in the first place.
No, they'll never.
It just feels like common sense to me.
They'll never criticize Marvel. They're the good guys in this situation.
If you feel so bad that they have to write a script, or God forbid they have to hold back their emotions and act, you feel so bad for them, then why don't you blame the people who literally made it so? It's just silly, man. It's fucking nonsense. And as far as him saying that he wanted to quit, Ryan, you know what? I'll stow that. I will stow that. I'll stow that. That's my personal opinion and have anything to do with this subject. But if you are having second thoughts, second guesses about the franchise, I would encourage you to look elsewhere, fam. Because if you are not giving this franchise its due, it's only going to get worse. And I can't imagine it getting worse than what it is now. But there's always a lower low.
Oh, for sure.
There's always a lower low.
1000%. On to my next L. This one is not so much of a shocker, but because it's news, I figured I'd throw it out there. Warner Brothers apparently doesn't want a new Friday. Is that a shocker to you?
No.
Are you surprised by that at all?
No.
So, not really sure why it's news,
but
it is. So.
The reason why they turned down the script, I'm not mad at. And I'm actually a little bit shocked at Ice Cube for his proposed direction for the franchise. So I guess the next Friday script that he pitched to Warner Brothers was supposed to be them going to jail for selling weed. And it's like, okay, so we started out with them being in some shit over selling weed, right? And then we graduated, we got some new jobs. We still smoking weed, but now we have employment. And then the next movie is we're business owners and we're enterprising. Our families are entrepreneuring, building generational wealth, but we still dealing with regular hood shit, right? I don't want the culmination of all of that to end with you going to jail for selling weed, Cube. Like, that's not what I want out of that franchise.
Yeah, no, first of all, didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he told, I don't know whose podcast he was on, but that's what he told him, that he was like, basically he pitched it to Warner Brothers and they wasn't in love with the direction. I'm not in love with that direction either. It almost feels like a regression for the characters.
It's most definitely a regression.
It's like, we selling weed on the block, I don't have no job. Then my cousin and my uncle hit the lotto, so I'm going to live with them for a little bit. Still smoking a lot of weed, but at least I got a job. Yeah. Now we moving into franchising, and we got our own businesses, and we're, American Dream type shit. We're security guards, but still, we've elevated at each part. Now we got our own spot together. We got our own shit.
Yeah.
We're living on our own, and our family is prospering.
Yeah.
Why would we bring all of that back to them going to jail for smoking or selling weed?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess I could see a very Harold and Kumar-ish type of rom-comedy. But that doesn't feel like
comedy?
Not rom-comedy. What am I looking for? It's like slapstick comedy, like the spoof comedy.
Say, who are they about to get romantic with?
Yikes. But that's a different direction for the franchise altogether.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what he was on, but also New Line Cinema played a long story into why the original Last Friday didn't come out either. So it's not just Warner Brothers.
So apparently he had this conversation on Drink Champs, and they rejected 2 scripts. And so the second script is one where the youngsters in the hood having beef with the OGs in the hood, and Craig has to come back and squash that because Smokey's son, who would have apparently been played by DC Youngfly, is the new Debo, and he's wilding.
I like that a lot better. That sounds like a cap to a saga. That sounds like a story that's come full circle. Mm-hmm. Not, hey, let's show Craig and Day Day in jail. Nah, fam. No, bro. That ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
Yeah. True that. Okay, I'm going to give my last L to a person who has escaped most people's eyes. Perez Hilton.
Oh boy, man.
Bro, I don't know what's up with your boy.
Y'all love us so much it's embarrassing for y'all. They love us so much it's embarrassing for y'all. Got a failing platform, popularity dwindling. What do? Black social issues. Okay, yeah, all right. Recasttchalla, see that. Interesting. Oh. Why not just Shuri? I don't get it. Recasttchalla is full of misogynists. Do you really just not want to see Shuri that bad? Literally how that went.
So, no, absolutely.
Literally how that went.
So, let's go further from that. So, I see that tweet and retweet it. And I go, I should just ignore this tweet because, of course, Perez Hilton isn't doing simple research.
I forgot that Perez Hilton was a thing.
You and me both.
Forgot that you were even a person, fam.
You and me both.
Where'd you come from?
1000%. So I say I should just ignore this tweet because, of course, Perez Hilton isn't doing simple research before posting shit. I should just ignore this tweet because all of America has ignored Perez Hilton for years, and I should too.
Absolutely.
That's my tweet. Perez then retweets it from his personal account.
Attaboy.
Sure. I was disparaging him, but he decided to retweet it. And then he retweeted it from the actual account that tweeted that bullshit before.
There you go. Double retweet. Exposure.
I don't know why, though. Fam, I don't know what's up with you, but that's weird.
Fam, it was very clear what the aim was, and that just confirms it. When you're willing to repost negative comments about yourself just for the sake of it furthering the attention to the issue that you brought up, it was always about the attention, fam. Yes. It was never about the issue.
Fair enough. That shit is weird, and I don't.
It's how most people live their life.
No, that's
unfortunately, it's the way we live.
That is true. I'm going to give a toss up to the fact that Columbus is listed as the city that swears the most.
For real? Yeah. I mean, I do cuss a lot. Cuss a lot. Really?
Yeah.
Cussing ass bus.
Yep.
Cussing ass bus. That's what we should rename ourselves.
Right. Must be, because sheesh. And then also, not a toss up, I guess it's more of a dub than anything else. Leader, who is a frequent commenter on our videos, commented 3 days ago on our academics video, and I just didn't get the chance to comment back to him. But he says, and I quote, "I want you guys to know your podcast or show is fantastic. I listen every day on my way back from work. At your young age, both of you are extremely mature and knowledgeable and entertaining. Looking forward to you hitting the 1 million subscriber mark one day. Stay genuine."
Damn.
Bro, it's comments like that absolutely make our weeks.
Appreciate that.
And so I just wanted to shout that out because, again, I didn't get a chance to reply to it. But shout out to Leader. You are an A1 squad homie, and we appreciate the sentiment for sure.
While we are on that subject, shout out to my boy Darth Hater. There we go. Shout out to him, man. He reposts our shit religiously.
He definitely tweets our videos religiously. He's not the only one.
Please keep doing that, man. If you care anything about this platform, you want to keep seeing it grow and expand, that means a lot. It shows that there's organic growth, and that's the type of thing that attracts us. So keep growing the squad homies by reposting the content, sharing it, even if you don't post it on your social media. You know what I mean? You seen something that you like, something that you heard, a perspective that we were able to provide that you never heard of before, man, take that outward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Take that to your Friday night conversations with your friends and, you know.
Text it to one of your homies that you feel like we're talking about something that they may be interested in.
For sure, because that's the point. That's why we do so much social commentary. Is like, I feel like there's a lot of room to have these discussions that aren't based on fucking relationship shit and other nonsense.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yes, Darth Hater, and there was, oh my God, I know the other person retweeted like right before that. Darth Hater and Felix, aka Groovy Fee. Shout out to
Appreciate
both of y'all. Y'all are, and guys like Theo. Theo has been
they already know.
Chill has been sharing, so you know.
We don't gotta do that. They know.
Yeah, for sure. That is my dubs and L's.
Cool. All right, so first dub, well, I guess my only dub now, is going out to Everything Always for quoting our video from last week about Blade verbatim. He's a MCU leak reviewer kind of guy. He's kind of like Emergency Awesome.
On YouTube?
Yeah. Yep. Everything Always. So he had a segment about Blade and the production, right? Everything that we prefaced that was purely speculation about the film. Mm-hmm. Almost every piece of it. The only thing that he didn't do was confirm exactly what it is about the script that Mahershala and Kevin weren't happy with, but they're not happy. Mahershala is pissed with Marvel overall. He says Kevin Feige spread too thin, too lackluster fight scenes, scripts extra short. Basically everything we said in our video last week. Shout out to literally Theo B for sending that link so I could watch it this morning and find out that we're being watched. Know what I mean?
You feel me? Bro's got a lot of subscribers. What do you watch?
Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't actually know if he probably didn't. He's got some inside sources. But bro, just to say that we was right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
You want your information early. You want it real, raw, unbridled, unencumbered. Come to the back of the bus.
Gang, gang.
Let's talk a little bit about Saucy Santana and Miss Trina's campaign videos.
What?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, not necessarily campaign, but voting, encouraging voting.
Oh, okay. If there's one person I'm not going to listen to on this subject, it's Saucy Santana, but sure.
I feel like it was just 3 years ago, I guess, that we was sitting here talking about Get Your Booties to the Poll and how effective it was.
Really, nigga?
How popular it was. It got like 20 million views, and it, you know.
Crazy that.
Saw a spike in voter registration. It was like, oh, yay. I mean, that's a positive thing. Why are we mad, right?
Crazy that was one of our like best performing videos at the time. Just throwing that out there.
So we got Get Your Booties to the Polls. And then we move a little bit further, and then a couple of years later, we got Gary Chambers, right? Which is still a politician I'm holding out hope for. I don't have hope for a lot of black politicians in general. Still holding out hope for Gary Chambers that he's legit. But he does the whole, smoking a blunt in a campaign video, has done so in multiple campaign videos.
Yep.
Tierra Mack. Obviously, the twerking scandal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a brand new campaign video or voter registration video from more celebrities, and we're getting much of the same.
You failed to mention DNA and his Joe Biden.
I forgot DNA and Charlie Clips in that weak ass video.
Ooh.
When you choose a president, it's supposed to be a knockout. Then why this situation doesn't entice me? If you got the answers to get me out this dark path, my brother, enlighten me.
I don't have that answer, and I usually have every answer.
Gross.
So now here we are in 2022, and it's seeming like that is the only way that they are going to communicate with us. Yeah. And now I feel completely different about it. I was like, this sounds like a very effective way to communicate to young people and at least interest them in coming to vote. And now it just feels like racism. It feels like the standardized way of communicating to the black electorate is talking about twerking.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt a sliver of that with Get Your Booty to the Polls. I felt a sliver of that when DNA and Charlie Clips did their video. Like it was like we can only identify with
rap, ass shaking celebrities.
But that's also there's some
no
white
tangibles
lady,
whatsoever.
There's some white lady who's running for some sort of office. I'll post a clip in the video. Who decided that rapping was the best way to get her point across.
Integrity, morality, accountability. Government programs should lead to self-sufficiency and support traditional family as the fundamental unit of society. But in schools, they're pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify this, because there's some who can't define this, as a female adult, I know what a woman is.
Bars!
Because we're idiots, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not with that shit no more. I'm not feeling it because now that they found out, oh, well, that's popular. Well, that's the only way we want to do it now. You don't have to come in here and talk about black women's mortality rates. You don't have to talk about how inflation has affected, black communities. You don't have to talk about really anything. Anything tangible to us. Sure as hell not reparations.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to come and talk to us with tangibles. You talk to us through our celebrities about frivolous shit. Spend all our damn time arguing about these various social issues and get nothing from that either. And then all of a sudden it's time to go vote, and it's like, hey man, if y'all don't vote, y'all know what y'all gonna get. Not with that no more. Not with that for sure. And this is just the latest in a line of what should be considered as offensive propaganda towards the black electorate.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't see it any other way.
I would agree.
You ready to talk about Herschel Walker?
Okay, so I haven't seen what specifically has happened, but I guess him and his son are beefing. That's all I've seen. So I'm excited to hear about this.
So the Democrats have been doing their work on Herschel Walker as of late. They've produced some information about some abortions he's had, about some prior relationships, about, prior improprieties with Christian Walker, his son, his mother, ranging from abuse to infidelity to abandoning the home altogether and just being away. Just not very good family values from a Christian conservative man.
But par for the course for a former NFL player.
Absolutely. So he gets that. A little bit of blowback. Has to do some cleanup. And do you know that man, Christian Walker, a guy I would have never thought had even a stitch of integrity about him, ends up being the most morally grounded person in the entire Walker family. So he ends up telling us that, number one, the reason why he preaches his conservative values is because he actually believes them and they align with his life experiences. That was completely relatable because I can understand that. I can empathize with that.
Still
because
not sure
hold on. Let me pull it together.
Go ahead.
His father was an abusive, absent womanizer.
Okay.
Which completely aligns with his idea that you have to have fathers in the home, you have to have strong Christian values, and you have to value fidelity. Right? Those completely align with his Christian values. The fact that he had to deal with an abusive, absent father.
That all makes perfect sense.
Because a lot of times I see these bleeding hearts out of the Republican Party who could give a damn whether or not somebody praises Jesus as long as they cut a check to the right organization and vote Republican. Yeah. But here is a conservative who actually has a reason for believing the things that he believes and is actually going to stick to it and is actually going to fall on the sword. Because another thing that was brought up in here was the fact that each and every one of the family members that are in contact with Herschel Walker begged this man not to run for office because they knew that every single thing that's coming out about Herschel Walker now would come out, right? And so it finally has come out, and seeing his father go on TV and try to defend himself and try to sweep some of this stuff under the rug enraged him so much that he came out and gave the spiel. The abortions are legit. The women are legit. The abuse against his mom is legit. This is all according to Christian. Mm-hmm. And basically, Herschel Walker is just a phony.
Piece of shit.
Hey, a piece of shit.
Okay. All of that makes perfect sense. And great on Christian Walker for taking the moral ground and actually speaking what he believes. My only question is, how does being a part of the religious right and being gay, how does that... Not that he can't be gay and religious.
I don't know.
But I feel like the religious right...
I don't think he ever would have been a proponent of the Republican Party had his father not ran for a Senate seat. I don't think he would out here be talking about the Republican Party or, evangelical conservatives if not for his father. He probably wouldn't even entertain them.
And I guess that doesn't have anything to do with your sexual orientation. Sure. I guess it's just weird that...
Now, you could say from the standpoint that the people who also share your idea on social issues and fiscal responsibility don't see you as a real person, who don't see you as a person with equal rights.
That's
now,
my only question.
You could say that, and I mean, I don't know. He got to answer that question. I have no fucking clue. Ask Dave Rubin, too.
That's literally my only question. And again, not that you can't be both, but...
Shit, Milo Yiannopoulos went and did a full 80 like, dude, I don't like men's no more. I am delivered. All right. So we are on to shout out to my boy Be Real with D Real. His real name Daryl Atkins. You know what I'm saying? Go subscribe to my boy's
that
page.
You're putting my boy's government out there like
He
that.
says it.
Yeah, but you doing it.
He says it.
You doing it just seems snitchy.
First of all, fam is all the way out the way. Ain't nobody coming to get him.
Yeah, but you doing it just sounds like the feds.
Anyways, moving on. I had to shout out my boy for this beautiful graphic. Well, not so beautiful, but
the way that he handled it.
Yeah, the way that he kind of put this
it.
information out to us. If I can find it.
That's always the tough part.
Finding the shit you want to reference. Because I swear it was like perfectly right here up on the feed.
And then Twitter loads and it's gone. Unless you liked it.
So we've got a fancy little cutout here of 4 black male characters in the MCU. And it is detailing the amount of projects they have been in the MCU and their total overall runtime. All right. So I don't think it should shock anyone that these are some of the lower runtimes, but just to put it in perspective of just how much time and attention is paid to these characters, right? Idris Elba as Heimdall played in 5 films. 5. It's a lot of movie time. He has a total of 14 minutes and 15 seconds of screen time. I think his name is Clee. Looks French. Clee Bennett. That's the guy who played Lamar Hoskins in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Obviously, he had only the 1 series. He did appear in 4 episodes, though. He has less time than Heimdall had. 11 minutes total. Let's see. Mr. Don Cheadle, the guy we talked about last week in the Armor Wars segment, getting his own feature film, a series that's been turned into a film, right? Woohoo! Yes! Don Cheadle has been in the most films other than anybody named Samuel L. Jackson, other than that guy, right? He's been in 1 series, 7 films, 1 series, 1 episode. He's had a total of 52 minutes of screen time in 7 films, plus a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, he was in Falcon and Winter Soldier for a brief minute.
52 minutes. No wonder we don't know anything about Rhodey. He's barely been on screen. Here's the most egregious one. Now that we can say Academy Award winning actor, overall legend and god to the acting profession. I don't know why I said perfection.
Oh, good.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He is perfection. So that's
Samuel L. Jackson. Mr. Get these GD snakes off these GD plane himself. Has played in the most films of any black lead, 11. Some of the, the notable ones, Captain Marvel, Infinity War. You know the greats, Civil War, that kind of stuff. Not Civil War, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
11 films. Samuel L. Jackson has been on screen for 1 hour and 16 minutes. 1 hour. That's barely enough time to lead a feature film.
And especially in the MCU. It's half of a movie.
So without even, and the reason why I haven't put it in there is because it's honestly kind of embarrassing, but I want to be able to have this conversation without bringing up, the obvious guy that we all want to talk about.
Sure.
Even without bringing him up, before we even got to this point of trying to recast the character of T'Challa, Marvel already had a black lead problem. They had a black character problem before we even get to Black Panther. They already had a black character problem. And then, golly gee, in 2018, you just happen to have a whopper. Best film nominated, $1.3 billion. Even that black lead was only in his film a third of the movie. He was only on screen a third of the time. Just continuing to provide more context to the fervor and why I feel it's so important not to support things financially that you think need to be changed. And if you can't look at these things that way objectively and judge them accordingly, you are wasting your time asking for anything. Period.
Yeah, as much as the MCU wants to posture themselves as being all inclusive, the stats just show differently.
Let's see here. Let's talk about that San Antonio cop shot up the boy eating his double cheese in the parking lot.
Yeah, didn't hear about this before you told me, but
so the cop was responding to a disturbance call unrelated to the kid, obviously. Apparently, he had seen this dude earlier on that week and was trying to, he got away or something, was trying to apprehend him and he got away. And so he found the kid in the parking lot at the McDonald's, and he's sitting there eating his cheeseburger. He tells him to get out the car. He says, "Why?" Right after that, you can see the kid kind of start reaching back for the steering wheel, or at least he turns back towards the front of the car. Without any notice, without any freeze, stop moving, take the keys out of the ignition, halt, anything. Before the kid can even reposition himself back to see what the officer's doing, the gun is already pulled. Lets off a few rounds into the car while the door is open. Then somehow the kid survives and is able to start driving away, and he puts out several more rounds into it. There was a young lady in the seat beside him who was also injured. My thing is, so you showed up there not even looking for this dude. You might have recognized him from whenever, or you might not have. What? First of all, it would surprise you to know that this guy is not black. White kid. But what would possess you to start shooting like that? I will tell you. People who have never had the responsibility or never had, I can't even call it responsibility, who have never had the power to inflict their will on someone, the minute they step into positions like that, that is what you get. Mm-hmm. Overzealous, quick to use force, scared. All of these fucking losers that get beat up in school, who get ridiculed, who are too weak to defend themselves, then they grow up and they say, "Hey, I don't need a college degree to be a cop. That'll be easy." And then it'll be my turn. It'll be my turn to run things. Anytime you see someone with a relative position of power that abuses it, that's immediately what I think of. Somebody who's been abused, somebody who's been bullied and beaten down. And so the ultimate worst possible thing you can do as a victim of something like that is to turn it back on to people simply because you can.
Mm-hmm. If you're going in to protect and serve people with that kind of mindset, you're not going to protect and serve people.
These glory whores, they want to be able to go back and tell their drinking buddies that they got into an altercation with a guy that gave them shit. And it ends up with somebody losing their life.
Unjustly.
Fucking lame. And at the end of the day, even though you got that badge and that gun fame, you still the same lame. You still the same dude that got his head put in the toilet because he wouldn't stand up for himself. You just got a gun now.
And so people who just assume that we're only on this side of things because it's only black people.
Yeah, no, this wrong is wrong, man.
Exactly. Where's the humanity? Stop acting like people are just inhumane and only seek out information that's close to them. No, it's a human that lost their life. So they're in the same boat.
Last take. I am going to address Kanye West, but I am not going to talk about the fact that he wore a White Lives Matter shirt. I'm not going for the bait. I'm not doing it. He's got something to sell or something, but I'm not going for it. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to talk about the fact that he was there hand in hand with Candace Owens or Kuhn Owens or whatever her name is these days. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was the most interesting thing that came out of that Fox News interview with Tucker Carlson, nonetheless. Mm-hmm. He brought up something about Lizzo that I felt like, while his motivations and his his reasoning for bringing that up were probably frivolous at best. I don't agree with his overall sentiment about Lizzo's weight. Because, man, look, it's not for me to say what you should look like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even understand that. I don't get that. What he said, though, about the media and what they promote about Lizzo, I felt like was 100% true. Because we've even mentioned this about Lizzo here on the pod. Like, the most impressive thing about Lizzo is not her body, it is her talent. Right? It is what she is able to do musically. Mm-hmm. She is a true musician. She is a talented person. And so, to that end, that is not the thing that people on TMZ or ET or Entertainment Tonight or All Access or whatever are talking about. That is not what they promote about her. Mm-hmm. They don't take photos of her sitting quietly composing music.
Right.
They don't show her in the studio working on something, writing. They show her bent over with her ass out at a Lakers game, and that's what they want her to be seen doing. Because it's the only other thing that they ever talk about when we're talking about Lizzo. It's the only thing that they publicize. The only time that they want to bring up Lizzo is to show one of her outfits or to talk about somebody talking about her weight, or to show or to platform somebody talking about her weight.
Question. Does that say a lot about the media or the people who consume it and react as such?
Both. Both. Because the media is only seeking to produce that. And it's not just with Lizzo that they do that. They always take the things that are most suitable and digestible to their white audiences to promote about black acts, athletes, actors, musicians, whatever. Right? Whatever that is that's going to be most digestible from middle America white people, that's what we're going to promote the most. That's why Tyler Perry is golden in Hollywood. He's good. Tyler Perry will never get blackballed out of anything unless he stopped wearing that damn dress.
He don't want that fade with Donald Glover, though.
He won't get... I don't even know what happened, but I did hear they sent shots to Tyler Perry. But Tyler Perry will forever be gold in America. Yeah. In Hollywood for sure, because he gives them what they want to see. When they think of black people, that's what they think of, and he gives it to them in spades. They think drama, they think infidelity, they think just mess, ghetto-ness. They think about somebody's grandmother toting a 45 in her handbag. That's what they think about.
Yeah.
So that it's perfectly aligned into what they already perceive, the biases that they already hold, the stereotypes that they already believe. He feeds it right back to them.
You know, I was watching this videos. I'll probably post the thumbnail and everything like that. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he makes a lot of videos just exposing things. And his point in this one was kind of the influencers and content creators that everybody says they hate, guys like Jake Paul, guys like Kanye West, and things like that, who, or even the Kardashians, who leverage attention to basically make all the money that they're getting. And the way that they do such is typically by prompting negative responses.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of asked about Lizzo, is because the reason why the media is pumping up all these articles about her weight is more so because they know that they're going to elicit mostly negative responses from people. And in that...
And negative response is traffic, it's engagement, and that brings in advertisers.
Yeah. Yep.
That's simple. Mm-hmm. That is simple. Simple math. Rile up the crowd, get them angry enough to come for you, and as they're coming for you, you monetize their eyeballs.
Which is why Jake Paul can fight Floyd Mayweather and make millions. Because we all want to see Jake Paul lose, which if he does lose, or Logan Paul, I guess, fought Floyd Mayweather, and they stalemate, and they got their money. That's
and they got their money.
They got what they wanted.
So it's not Lizzo's fault Like, she can look how she want to look, man. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting around here. Now, if we just want to talk plainly about it, yes, being obese puts you at a health risk. That is easy enough to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The problem is that most of America's obese, not just Lizzo and not just black women.
Yep.
And it's not for me to say what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body. It's not for anyone to say. And it's also not for anyone to objectify or propagate either.
That's a fact.
She's a human being, not a show horse.
And it's very simple. If you don't like it, you can just ignore it. Trust me, it'll probably go away if you ignore it.
I tell at least one person this in our comments a week. You could just keep on going, dog. If you do not like what it is that you see over here, that you hear, there is no requirement for you to click on the video, open up your ears, and start listening. Your life would be much easier if you just fed it the content that it wants. Except, I think you may have a little bit of trouble admitting what it is you actually want to hear.
You know what's crazy about
that? You
that?
just keep on coming back.
The comments help us. Dislikes even help us.
Yeah.
So, if that's what you want to do, by all means. Some of our best performing videos are because people actually didn't like what the fuck we were saying.
Some of those versus videos.
Yeah. Yep. And some of the alt-right people coming out to bash what we gotta say.
The fresh and fit, the red pill community.
Some of our best performing videos are because people don't like what we're saying. And
see, now if we set up here and gave y'all 3 or 4 fresh and fit videos a week, then we would be chasers. We would be clout chasers.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. If we wanted 1 million subscribers, I would just hop on and I would clip off pieces of Fresh and Fit's episodes every week, and we would create an entire economy around reviewing their content. It's people that's the model.
That is a fact. Also, how you that if you did that, you wouldn't be building a community. You'd be building a subscriber base of people who want to hate on your videos, but they're not there to actually like what we have here right now is a community. Because we talk about.
So you don't think communities can be built off of mutual hate for someone else?
No, I do. But you would be building off of clout, not substance. For example, FD Signifier, who we like to talk about on here, has multiple videos about the manosphere. And he could continue making said videos.
And he talks about how profitable it would be to do so and why he does not.
But there is integrity in not doing that.
Sure. That's what I was trying to assert, is that there's integrity in not just monetizing what people want to hear.
And I think in that you build a stronger community amongst people who are actually here for substance as opposed to people who are here for the one thing.
Fair enough.
But yes, we could build a lot more if we were doing one thing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
One thing, So, also, Neo Taino a long time ago, probably a couple weeks ago, mentioned a video called The Alt-Right Playbook, The Cost of Doing Business. I watched it. It was a really good video. Okay. So I'd get more into it, but we're at the end of W's and L's. But good video. I guess if you want to watch it, make sure you go and check them out. And if you're going to watch them, drop a comment and tell them that the back of the bus brought you here. Any other Dubs, L's, thoughts, or anything like that?
That is it for me. Give us your Dubs and L's in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And come back next Wednesday for another Dubs and L's.
Absolutely. And make sure you check out some of our previous Dubs and L's and go over some of the things that we talked about, even though most of our W's and L's are getting demonetized now.
What?
Nah, just the last couple I think got demonetized. Regardless. Anyway, make sure you go back and check out some of those other videos. And then make sure you subscribe because like he said, we'll be doing this every Wednesday at 10 o'clock.